The campaign is led by local resident John Houston from the Bring the QE2 Back Home to Greenock group.
So the idea was first floated a few months back, and I just had a brainwave. I thought, the QE2 is sitting there rusting in Dubai. She's a magnificent ship. She's obviously got huge maritime significance and heritage in her, Clyde built heritage. And we thought, well, Greenock and Inverclyde has the facilities here. We have a dry dock available. We have a deep water berth that you see down here just over my shoulder. Why haven't we got a realistic opportunity to go ahead and get the ship back if she's surplus to requirements? Now she certainly looks like she's not got an awful lot of work going on at the moment. She's sitting there, the power's turned off, the windows are open to the Dubai elements, and those dusty conditions really aren't doing her any favour. The paintwork's faded, there's a lack of maintenance there. But let's put it in context. We built this ship, we know how to fit her out, we know how to fix her. If anyone could do it, it would be the people around about River Clyde.
We're standing here quite near where the James Watt dock is and the sugar shed. What sort of plans have the group has to redevelop the area?
The idea behind bringing the QE2 here is a showpiece, a centrepiece for a larger regeneration of this entire waterfront area. And that means also maximising the space that we've got in the sugar sheds at James Watt Dock. James Watt Dock is thriving at the moment, but we feel as though it should expand further and meet needs of quite clearly a burgeoning industry there in the way of tourism.
What kind of support you've had locally within Inverclyde to bring the QE2 here to Greenock?
It's been a fantastic reaction from Inverclyde Council and the Scottish Government. We've got a really good cross-party consensus growing there. Inverclyde Council has actually taken the step to instruct officials to make contact with the Dubai owners and see if there is any plans for her and if it's at all possible that Dubai could maybe gift or sell the ship to Inverclyde Council and to Scotland as a whole as a tourist attraction.
The campaign has been gathering support, and from such people as the Ferguson shipyard owner, Jim McCall, and our local politicians.
I got involved in the campaign through contact with John Houston, JB Houston on Facebook, a Facebook page, and John came up with this idea, and other people were mooting things, but John wasn't prepared to let it rest, so he became very active on it and just kept on at me and kept on at me. So my involvement is entirely through John Houston. Yeah. Discussions that we had. We've got to look at this and say, can we cost this? Is it viable? Who owns it? How much does it cost to buy it? Can we sell it back now? Do we need work to do on it? And even if we get to that stage, even if they said tomorrow we'll sell it to you for £1, is that a smart thing to do, or are we buying somebody else's problem? So there's a whole funded feasibility study that has to be done before we can really decide whether it's a good idea or not. I think initially it'd be almost a curiosity value. Oh look, there's the QE2, what sort of state she in? And I say, what do you do in the days and the weeks and the months after that? You know, in a cold, wet November, December evening here in Inverclyde, are people going to want to go on the QE2? They're going to want to come down here to just visit the QE2, and that's the sort of thing we have to look at. You know, the temptation would be, the simple solution would be to berth it further up the Clyde, further towards Glasgow, but we don't want that. We want it right here. If it's going to go back, we want to keep it back here. So we have to build more around it. It can't just be, here's the QE2 and expect people to flood to it. There has to be something to hook people into the local area, so the local area also benefits from the fact that people are coming and going to the QE2. Well, I've heard the idea mooted that it can be turned into a hotel. I'm not in the hotel business, so you need people with expertise in that area to say, you know, how many rooms we're going to make out of this, what standard the room's going to be, what do we charge them, who's going to travel here and use it, is it for business functions and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's an idea. It may be a good idea. I'm not qualified to say that. I've looked at other things. I've floated, no pun intended, the view that it could be a technical college. We've got Ferguson Marine here kicking off, hopefully going to do great things in this area. So if they're looking to run apprenticeships and train people in being joiners and welders and fitters and platers and electricians, and then once we've got the ship in a reasonable state, there's no reason why we can't say, well, okay, let's do function suites, let's create function suites. So you're going to need to be people who do catering as well, who do interior design. So, but that's just another idea off the top of my head. The feasibility study has to be done where we know we cost everything from start to finish and make sure we're not bringing some huge white elephant here, which is going to be a burden on the taxpayers of Inverclyde and of Scotland. I can imagine the day that if the QE2 does come back up the Clyde, and what a great day that would be for everybody. There's nothing more I'd like to see than that actually happening, but we have to take it beyond that and say on that day when this rather sorry looking ship returns to the Clyde, what are we going to do with it? What do we do with it that very day? Where do we berth it? Who's going to look after the security aspects, issues like that? So there's lots of things still to be thought out, and that's not me trying to put a damper on everything. I'm just trying to be wholly realistic about it. But to see the QE2 sail back up the Clyde, that'd be a great day.
You know, this is the Clyde. This is the place where 75% of the world's shipping was built in the 1960s, and now we've got only 1 or 2 yards left on the entire Clyde. So the area, real sense of pride kind of got lost because of all that industry disappearing. I think bringing the QE2 home would really bring that pride back. It would give the area a sense of purpose, you know. It would give this area something to look to and say, this is where we're going, this is our future. And on a practical point of view, you know, it would bring some jobs here as well, and extra money and tourism, revenues coming in. All of that's practical, and that would really help the area too. But, you know, the area needs pride. It needs to be able to look at that huge, colossal, you know, feat of marine engineering sitting out there in the Clyde and say, we built that, we rescued her, we brought her home, and now she's powering this area's economic regeneration. You know, when the hashtag Bring QE2 Home first went live on Facebook and on Twitter, the amount of people that fired into it and said, yeah, let's do this. QE2 is an amazing vessel. Can we bring her home? I helped build the QE2. I'd love to see her sailing up the Clyde again. That real response to that hashtag was amazing. And if we can capture that energy, that pride, that sense of achievement that they had in the QE2, and really turn it and say, this is where we're going with this. This is not just part of our past. This is part of our future. I think that would really help the area on a very fundamental level.
In October 2008, the QE2 stopped in Greenock as part of the last voyage in the UK before the ship was decommissioned. A month later, the ship was handed over to Dubai World owners, Ithmar, as part of a 3-year project to turn it into a hotel.
We have tried contacting the owners in Dubai. Unfortunately, as has been the case over the past few years in dealing with the ownership of the QE2, they can be somewhat reluctant to go on record publicly. So a lot of it has to be done via diplomatic channels such as consulate officials, council officials as well. That doesn't mean that there isn't a role for a campaign group in the wider sense to raise the issue and keep it in the forefront of everyone's mind.
A working group has been formed, which is led by the Chief Executive of Riverside Everclyde, Aubrey Fawcett, into the possibility of bringing the QE2 here to Greenock. Since the group has been formed, John Houston's gone out to Dubai to meet with representatives of the Dubai royal family. The negotiations at this moment in time are ongoing about the possibility of bringing the QE2 here to Greenock. So if anyone wants to get involved in the campaign, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, we've a bustling community of people online, all contributing, throwing in ideas, throwing things into the mix, thinking about how we can pull this off. You can contact us on Facebook. We have our own Facebook page. It's called Bring QE2 Home to Greenock. You can search Facebook for Bring QE2 Home. We also have a hashtag on Twitter, which is Bring QE2 Home. And people can also contact me directly on my email address. We'll give that out to you. But yeah, please do get in touch. The more the merrier. It's not just about a one-man band. There's a load of people around about there, all wishing as well, all hoping that Greenock pulls through and manages to rescue the ship.